Hey, what's up my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and today I'm going to shoot off for you a July new moon energy update. This is where I just share about my perspective on the Ascension energies that seem to have themes and qualities and characteristics tied to them that will play out in our personal life as well as the collective. And I do my best to kind of break it down as best I can for people in hopes of just helping you see what can initially be perceived as challenges in a positive way so you can make the most of them and use them to improve your life in a very positive and impactful way, which is the potential inherent with all these new energies coming in. This has been a real challenge for me this time around to make this video. I tried many times yesterday, and it just was not happening for me because I too am very much affected by these energies, and sometimes they can really throw me off. And I was quite thrown off yesterday. I felt too riddled with my ego, and I could not tap in sufficiently. So anyways, I'm feeling a lot better today, so I'm gonna do my best to bust this one out for you guys. So now I'll go ahead and break down these energies into a few different themes. One of them, something I was kind of experiencing yesterday, is a rapid oscillation between feeling clear and connected versus feeling segregated, just disconnected and confused and maybe riddled with like just doubt, that kind of thing. It's kind of back and forth, back and forth. I got it, I lost it. I got it again, it's gone again, damn it. All over the place. Sometimes this can happen in like spans of days and weeks, and you have a good month maybe, and then a few weeks where you're kind of like down and learning, and then you're back up. Now it's happening so fast where you can shift back and forth from bliss to just blues many times, all within one day, which makes life quite a challenge. It's like, well, what do I do when I'm feeling connected? I'm going to do this. It's obvious. I feel clear. I'm pumped up about it. But then when I'm disconnected, I'm questioning it all. I'm thinking, was that just unrealistic? I don't know. That's just not going to happen. That's not very wise. It's too risky. And then it's really hard to be consistent as far as our earthly progress when we're shifting and being sort of thrown around with this new wave of energy. So my advice for this is to kind of just do your best. Don't have the expectation of feeling zen-like and balanced 100% of the time. And just understand that when new energy comes in, it does temporarily take some time to adjust to the new frequency and the symptoms of that. Again, one of them which being just where you're kind of all over the place, but that's okay. You're just in the adjustment period. It'll all balance out, and then what'll be born out of that is greater clarity than you've ever experienced, greater confidence, greater flow, just more in alignment with yourself. So it's important just to kind of ride this out. What is happening now, and what feels really, what I just feel very strongly is that this is kind of the beginning of like a new type of energy, not like a new energy, but a new cycle beginning, kind of starting now, going into August, which is going to be very energetically charged, fast moving, explosive, transformative in a positive way. But this is kind of like the onset of that, it feels like. And again, we're just doing our best to adjust. So it's okay if you're feeling kind of all over the place and wishy-washy. Secondly, this seems to be sort of in alignment with what I was just talking about as we embark on this new cycle, as it seems. There's big endings happening, both maybe in a microcosmic sort of level and also like a big life theme cycle winding down. A lot of you might find yourself leaving behind an aspect of yourself, your life situation, etc., that maybe has been there forever, and now it's finally you're kind of stepping out into the new. And this is usually a mixed bag of both exciting, like wow, it's fun to jump into the new and take on these new projects and adventures. At the same time, there's a lot that goes with closing of chapters. There's some sadness involved sometimes, and maybe some anxiety because it's so unfamiliar, like you don't know where this is going to lead, and there's like no turning back now. So this can be kind of like another one of those things that, though given a few days, you'll feel like great about, charged up, but it might take a little while to kind of cope. Anytime there's a big life change, there's a period of where we just have to kind of transition ourselves mentally, emotionally, and it's important to kind of allow ourselves that time, where it's so common, I'm finding, in people, as well as how I used to react to these big changes, which are all being kind of forced into at times, it seems. There's like a resistance. There's a lack of acknowledgement that it takes time to process the rate at which we are moving through life, learning life lessons, having challenging life experiences. There's a lot that goes on inside to rebalance as we're always on the move, in a sense, on all levels. So it's okay to give yourself that space and that time to adjust, and just don't expect as much out of yourself while in that transition sort of phase. Rather, just kind of roll with it, acknowledge it, and then just know it's going to pass. And again, always, every transition we go to always leads to something always so surprisingly beneficial that we never could have imagined it turning out in such an amazing way, and it always does. And oftentimes it feels like it's never going to happen. It's like the opposite. You can feel the opposite, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's like, yes, oh, I got it. It's all coming together. At the same time, big, bold, awesome beginnings. So big that your mind might not even be able to kind of wrap itself around. There's like almost like too many details, too much going on associated with this new big, bold beginning that you don't even know what to do with yourself. That's another one of those things that, because we're going through life so quick now, going through all these transitions very quickly, it's just like confusing sometimes to the mind. But, excuse me, it always settles down. It's kind of like you're floating down a river and you're in this little raft, and you become accustomed to the pace, and you're happy and it's nice, and all of a sudden it just like you're going down and it speeds up, and it's like, wow, you're just not used to it. But eventually you get used to that new pace, that new speed. It's just that as it's speeding up, there's that initial like, oh wow, and then you're like, okay, no big deal. And you become used to the acceleration. It becomes your new normal. That's kind of what's happening. We're taking these big vibrational jumps, and the stress stems out of the temporary transition, and of us trying to adjust and process ourselves as we align with it. But if you're going through these adjustments, it's good. It means you're raising yourself. You're riding with the new waves of energy, and that's a very awesome and positive thing, and only spells good news for you as we go forward. Oftentimes what happens when there's this big vibrational spike is that there's like a sudden surfacing of conflicting beliefs, like inner conflict that needs to kind of be sorted out, because we have somewhat oftentimes like knowing of where we want to go, and to make it actually happen, we have to become more like vibrationally pure and in alignment with that. So as we get closer to that goal, we are forced to kind of deal with all the vibrational dissonance within ourselves, which practically speaking takes form of just old emotions or doubts or fears or just mindsets and beliefs, ways of relating with this new thing you're trying to create that doesn't really work, isn't actually in alignment with you, something you learned or were conditioned to feel that now it's got to go because you need more of yourself. You need to really commit to where you're trying to go, and you can't be halfway in because you're going to feel stretched and pulled and conflicted, and that's where the confusion and stress oftentimes comes in. It's about getting clear. But as this happens, if it catches you off guard, it caught me off guard, where it really made me like question everything. Like I was kind of going in this direction in my life quite wholeheartedly, and within the ups and downs, I was still pretty much heading forward. And then I just found myself kind of hitting a wall, like questioning my motives. Like, is this something I really want to do? You know, I kind of see where it's going now. Is this what I really want? Because I feel like almost like it's, There's less time to, there's not much time to turn back. So I really got to evaluate it. And initially I was contemplating, like, is this what you actually want to do? Maybe you weren't in the right mindset when you set these goals. But what kind of was revealed to me is that that's not really what was happening. It's that I had these conflicting beliefs that work. And I'll give you an example. What I just said kind of sounds confusing, I realize. So I'm kind of, you know me, I'm this YouTube guy now. I'm kind of going hard on YouTube. I make videos almost every day. I really work hard to grow my online presence because I think it's what I have to share is beneficial to people. But then I've gotten to a certain point where I'm like, is this where almost like I'm doing really well and I could just kind of plateau now and live my cozy little life and just kind of just continue doing what I'm doing, but not with such fury and like warrior type of forward energy I've been bringing to kind of get to this point. And I was thinking, like, man, you want to keep going forward. Why? Is that like an ego thing? This is just my own example of my own inner like questioning. I was like questioning my motives. Like, why do you want to keep going at this pace? Like, what's this about? Maybe you're just you think you're getting kind of like I don't know, like high on yourself and whatnot. This is all going on in my head. But I was driving the car today and I was listening to some rock and roll music, and I just felt so much inspiration. I felt that inspiration type of energy just so intensely, just yes. And then I realized that it's not about my motives. It's just about there's energy inside me that wants to express, just wants to create with it. And it's not even about where I end up. It's about me enjoying the feeling of expressing my energy in the way that's exciting to me. So anyways, but what caused that temporary pausing was my own doubts. Like, oh, maybe you're not good enough. Maybe you're just being whatever. All that had to go if I was going to continue to express my energy in a way that's most satisfying to me. But anyways, initially when this all kind of came on, I felt quite doubtful. I felt like cut off and kind of bluesy. That's why I couldn't shoot the video yesterday. There was a temporary adjustment period, as I keep talking about. But as always happens, more like the consciousness keeps growing, and with that comes the clarity and the discernment. And I decided, again, this is not my thoughts initially about what was going on inside were off. They were just premature conclusions. Rather, they were just helping me become more vibrationally clear so I can keep doing what I'm doing in a better way. And then lastly, the primary theme of this energy now, and I think as we go forward, pretty much, I don't see it winding down. I think it's just going to only ramp up. But it's just the no more holding back is like the theme. No more holding back from being who you came to become, regardless of what your mind thinks about it, regardless of what people say or do in response to it. Oftentimes, the more you commit to you being your truest self, the more life resistance, inner resistance can happen. But that's temporary. You can experience that and then transcend it and just keep going forward. And it's not even about continuing to go forward. It's about the more in harmony you become with your true core self, the more happy you're going to be, the deeper and better your relationships, the wiser, the more loving. It's just you being a happier, better, upgraded version on all levels of yourself, the more in alignment you can be, because who you are actually is already amazing. We came here and we got temporarily lost in the earth game. And now we're going back. We turned around, straight up, turned around, and we're heading back. And we're heading back in, and we're reclaiming our more and more and more and more of our soul's essence, the truth of who we are underneath the facade, the obscurity, the character that we thought we were. But as that breaks apart as we are heading back. We're ascending. It's just this weird transition and sort of process, abundant with all sorts of wild symptoms and experiences, and again, the ups and downs and all of that. But all of that, which can be perceived as like something's wrong, I'm not doing good, is actually, again, all connected to this ascent that we're all on here. So the degree in which you're denying who you know you are, know yourself to be, will be the degree in which you suffer. I suffered a little bit yesterday. I felt all over the place because I was sort of like suppressing. I had beliefs that were causing me to suppress and hold back from the fire within me that wanted to plow forward. But since kind of saying, okay, I'm just going to do it, I'm going to embrace this, I felt a lot better, a lot more clear, and I believe that conclusion we're all going to kind of come to in our own way, whether this video helps you or not. It's kind of inevitable. If you're on this path, you can only resist your growing vibration to an extent. So anyways, guys, I know I was kind of like jumping around a little bit. I did my best today. I'm still kind of reorienting myself as well, but I did want to get this out there to you because I know these updates are people say they're quite helpful, and I hope this one helped you guys. I will see you soon. I got a lot of fun stuff coming up ahead. I'll keep you in the loop. And for all of those of you who have been watching me and kind of sticking by me as I've been traveling, I've been going through a lot of life changes, as a lot of you well know. And many of you have been there at my side the whole time saying, it's okay, man, you keep going, Vic, you're doing great. I love you, thank you. And it's very often that whenever I question myself, I see your positivity, that you're always helping, you're always sharing and expressing in my direction. And it really does add fuel to my own fire. So I'm happy to reciprocate with these videos, and I'm glad they're helpful to you. I will see you all soon. Have an amazing day. Namaste.